And now for our next news special report.
Breaking news tonight, a seismic shift in the legal battle against Donald Trump. The Supreme Court's bombshell ruling on presidential immunity has thrown multiple cases into chaos. Alvin Bragg's conviction on the rocks. Jack Smith's prosecution potentially toast. And now a stunning revelation from Justice Thomas that could upend everything. Folks, we're witnessing a potential collapse of the entire legal assault on the former president. So stay tuned for my final thought. It's a wake-up call that every American needs to hear. Now, folks, just as the Supreme Court has shaken the foundations of these cases against Trump, our channel faces its own legal earthquake. For over a decade, we've been your beacon of truth, but now we're fighting for survival. YouTube's demonetization has hit us hard, like the charges against Trump, but we won't back down. This battle isn't just about us. It's about preserving the voice of truth in America. Your support is our lifeline. Whether it's a donation, a prayer, or sharing our message, every action counts. The links are below to take action. Together, we can weather the storm and emerge stronger, so let's keep the flame of truth burning bright. Now, let's dive into this bombshell. On July 1st, 2024, the Supreme Court drops a truth bomb on the Trump witch hunt, and it's sending shockwaves throughout the swamp. In a 6-3 decision, the justices made it clear a president cannot be prosecuted for doing his job, period. The court's message? Presidents aren't above the law, but they can't be thrown in jail for doing their constitutional duty. They said that the president can't be prosecuted for exercising core constitutional powers and is entitled to a presumptive immunity for all official acts. This is not just about Trump, it's about protecting the office of the presidency from political hit jobs. Now let's talk about Alvin Bragg's hush money case. Well, it's on life support. Just hours after the Supreme Court ruling, Trump's legal team moved to toss out the whole thing. They're saying Bragg used evidence from Trump's time as president, specifically tweets and public statements, which are now off limits thanks to the Supreme Court. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Manhattan DA's office is backing down. On July 2nd, they agreed not to oppose Trump's request to adjourn the sentencing scheduled for July 11th. Why? Because they know their case just got weaker. Take a look at these letters. They show the legal dance happening behind the scenes. Bragg's team is scrambling to try and figure out how to save their case. Judge Juan Merchan, well, he's now granted Trump's team until July 10th to file their motion and given the DA's office until July 24th to respond. The sentencing has now been pushed back to September 18th. But it's not just Bragg who is in trouble. Jack Smith's case against Trump for the January 6 events, it is falling apart faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. Don't take my word for it. Listen to CNN's own legal analyst, Ellie Honig. Watch.
How big of a deal is it, this part? You've written about this. Yeah. It's not just what's official and not official. It's also prosecutors cannot even introduce evidence of an official act as part of a prosecution. Yeah. That means what?
That is the biggest surprise in yesterday's ruling. It was no surprise that the Supreme Court said, prosecutors, you cannot charge somebody based on an official act. What caught me by surprise, I think everybody, is they said, and you can't even introduce evidence of an official act as part of your trial presentation. I mean, when you're trying a case as a prosecutor, a lot of your evidence is stuff that's not a crime in and of itself, but it's necessary to tell the story. It's necessary to explain the narrative, the context. And so now, for example, in the January 6th case, apparently Jack Smith can't even let the jury know about Donald Trump's communications with DOJ, which are a central part of the whole story. So that indictment is going to get torn to shreds by the time the courts are done with it. We'll see if there's even enough left there for Jack Smith to ever bring this case to trial. By the way, no way this case gets tried or any of the remaining cases get tried before the election. That much is now clear.
Yeah, that's the only certainty right now.
That's about it.
It's good to see you, Ellie.
Thank
you.
You heard it right. Honig says Smith's case is going to get torn to shreds. Why? Because now Smith can't use any evidence of Trump's official acts as president, including the communications with the DOJ. That's a huge chunk of his case gone. He even questions if there's enough left for Smith to bring the case even to trial. And Trump's not holding back either. In a Truth Social post shortly after midnight on July 2nd, he's calling out Smith and his bosses. But here's the kicker. Justice Clarence Thomas, in a 9-page concurring opinion, is questioning whether Smith's appointment as special counsel was even legal in the first place. Thomas is saying that if Congress didn't create Smith's office, the whole prosecution might be unconstitutional. He argues that this isn't just a technicality, but a fundamental issue of the separation of powers. This could be the roadmap for Judge Cannon to deliver the knockout punch that ends the witch hunt once and for all. Folks, this is bigger than Trump. It's about protecting the presidency from political persecution. It's about upholding the Constitution, and it's about making sure justice is really justice, not just a tool for settling political scores. We're seeing the potential collapse of the entire illegal assault on President Trump, and it's happening right before our eyes. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This ruling isn't just a win for Trump. It's a victory for the American presidency and our constitutional republic. The Supreme Court has reaffirmed that we are a nation of laws, not political vendettas. This decision protects not just one man, but the very office that leads our nation. It's a reminder of the wisdom of our founding fathers who knew the dangers of unchecked power. As James Madison said, the accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary in the same hands, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.